I'm not going to play the entire thing.
All right, everyone, we're back in court. Hopefully everyone had a great lunch. Anton Hayek, your person is Mr. Morales, is that correct?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, can you tell me where Mr. Morales is?
I can check for you, Judge. Let me check.
All right, thank you. He was here in custody. All right, Carlos Martinez, on your client, Corey Rodriguez, have you all received all the paperwork?
We've got the plea paperwork, Judge. What we're still waiting for is the application for deferred, the waiver of appeal, and the video waiver.
All right, so Norma will make sure that you all receive that.
And then I will go into a breakout room to go over the paperwork with my client.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Mr. Rodriguez, let me find you. If you can go to breakout room number 2 for me, please.
So,
And then Joe Ray, Anton Hayek is telling me that Mr. Morales wants his jury trial. So we're
Yes,
going to
Judge.
see about getting the date for that.
Okay.
And the motion to suppress is with Tapia. Who is in the courtroom right now? That's
Joseph Appel
Tapia.
and Mr. Tapia.
Okay, if y'all will just give me a moment, let me take care of these 2 pleas we have left. Then I'll come into the courtroom and we can start up with your motion.
That'll be fine. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. So Brenna, is the courtroom still cold? All right, I don't want to come in there and then it's like, it's hot now.
It feels good in here, Judge.
Okay.
They're bringing Mr. Morales, Judge.
All right, thank you. And then Norma, Cornelius stopped by and I know he had to go to another court. Could you see if you can get him here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And then Joe Ray, I have the agreed order on McKay between you and the other attorney, Mr. Ramos.
Rebecca, I sent you a chat.
Sorry. Somebody need me?
Who's asking? Oh, no, Anton.
Yes, ma'am.
Just give us a moment.
Okay.
All right, here's Mr. Morales. All right, Mr. Morales, if you could unmute yourself for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I've talked to your attorney. It's my understanding that you want a jury trial. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's see here.
They wouldn't let me. They said
Norma, can you give me a jury trial setting for Mario Morales?
yeah, because I did try to go down there. They were a little freaked out, surprised, like, wow, you want to go for a drug test? Like, yeah, I'm clean. You know, I want to go for a drug test. But no, they didn't do that.
Just give us a moment, Mr. Morales, and we'll have your trial date for you.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, I'm looking at it right now. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
Judge, I sent you a chat.
All right. Anton,
Yeah.
dates for trial available
Yeah.
are either October 14th or October 29th.
I'm checking right now.
And Judge, I'm speaking on David's behalf, the 29th would work better. He said the 14th is the only date he requested not to be on.
Right. So are you okay with October 29th, Mr. Hayek?
That's a Friday. Yeah.
Well, no, that's the date they give us. So on that date, we will actually be selecting a jury and then testimony will
You still
begin
don't
on that
have it?
Monday.
If you don't have it like in 5 minutes,
All right, we're going to go on the record briefly.
We need that.
Court is calling 2019 CR 9698, State of
They got
Texas
the
versus
information on
Mario
this?
Morales.
She told me she sent it to you.
Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Joey Garcia.
for the defense?
Anton Hayek from Mario Morales present.
All right. And are you Mr. Morales?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Morales, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Do you have any objections to us proceeding by video, Mr. Morales?
No, I don't.
All right, state, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objections?
No objection for today. I object to for jury trial.
No, we will actually be in person for jury trial.
Great.
All right. So, Mr. Hayek, have you received all of the discovery in this case?
I believe I have. I'm going to recheck my file very carefully.
All right. All right, state, I'm going to need an acknowledgement of discovery. I don't see where there's one in the court's file. Will you be able to give the court the acknowledgement of discovery by June 25th?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Morales, I'm going to ask you a question. I just need a yes or no answer from you. Could you please unmute? Are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes.
All right. Then your jury trial will be scheduled for October 29th. Defense, do you have any objection to the jury trial taking place on October 29th?
No objections, Your Honor.
State, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Morales, are you okay with a jury trial for October 29th?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Morales, what will end up happening on that date, we will select a jury. You'll need to be dressed for trial. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. Your plea deadline date has expired. This is an old case, so we're taking it up as quickly as we can. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Judge.
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
All right, and defense, if you have any motion that you wish for the court to hear, just let us know and let Ms. Ferguson know, and she'll put it on the docket.
I certainly will. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Norman, can you let them know that Morales can go back? He's 14E.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Soon we can be excused.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so then the only persons we're waiting for is Cornelius Cox. And what I'm going to, and the plea bargain agreement paperwork for Mr. Rodriguez. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resituate to the courtroom. So everyone just give me a moment. Oh, no, please. Are we on? Can we go off video, please? Are we? Yeah. Okay. These are graduates from drug court that I sent to drug court. So we're gonna take pictures with you. I'm like, what? All right, court is going to call 2021 CR 0667, State of Texas versus Jeremy Tapia. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
for the defense?
Joseph Appelt for the defense.
Just one moment. All right, the defense has filed a motion to suppress in this case. State, have you had a chance to review the motion to suppress?
Yes, Your Honor, as well as I've discussed it with Mr. Appelt.
Are both parties ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then I'm assuming that there was no search warrant or arrest warrant. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge, and the state stipulates the warrantless arrest.
All right, then state.
State would like to call Officer Spicchiotti to the, I might be mispronouncing that.
Well, welcome to the club because I've mispronounced a lot of names. I'm working on it though. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. If you could, please don't touch the microphone. But if you can keep your voice up, if you could state your name for the record and spell it.
Officer Thomas Spicchiotti,
Oh, I said it wrong. I apologize.
Spicciati.
All right, state.
Good afternoon, Officer. Could you please tell us how you're presently employed
Out the San Antonio Police Department,
and how long have you been with the San Antonio Police Department?
about 5 years.
Can you tell us what kind of training you went through to become a certified peace officer?
About 8 months of training at the police academy, as well as FTO training, about 14 weeks or so after that.
And have you done updated training since that point?
Yes, ma'am. We go back yearly for a week of in-service or continued training.
And what division of the San Antonio Police Department are you currently in?
Currently, I'm with the East Safe Unit.
And on October 5th of 2020, what division were you with the San Antonio Police
I
Department?
was on the, out of the East Substation B shift on patrol.
Okay, and what is B shift?
It's just the time of day we work from 1:30 PM to 9:30 PM.
Okay, so mainly the afternoon.
Yes.
And what types of calls do you respond to during that time period?
That's wide range of calls. Everything that you can imagine that during that time period.
Excuse me. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Officer, I've been showing you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize it?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is this a copy of?
I copied my police report.
Have you had a chance to review it before today?
Yes, ma'am.
And is everything in there accurate as you remember it?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know that that is your report?
Just gotta find my name on here somewhere.
That was going to be my next question. Is your name under reporting officer?
Yes, it is. Let me find it. Yes, right there, reporting officer. There I am. All right.
Okay, thanks. And would this report help you be able to remember the events of October 5th, 2020, when you came into contact with Mr. Tapia?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you believe this report would help the court understand the events that happened that day in deciding this motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, for purposes of this motion only, the state would like to offer State's Exhibit 1 into evidence. I will also tender a copy to defense.
Any objection?
Judge, I object to it being the police report, and police reports are not admissible. Certainly, he can use it to refresh his memory, but using it as evidence, his testimony is the best evidence, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would argue that in a motion to suppress hearsay is admissible. I would not have done this at trial, but for this motion, it is relevant and could help the court decide the motion more appropriately.
All right, that'll be overruled.
Okay, officer, I'm drawing your attention to October 5th of 2020. Do you remember making the report in front of you, State's Exhibit 1?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you tell the court, and briefly, we're also going to see a video of this, but can you tell the court why you first came into contact with Mr. Tapia?
Yes, ma'am. I was dispatched to a call for service. Somebody was calling in, one of the neighbors in the area, stating that a vehicle they didn't recognize was parked in the street, had been running for about 3 hours, hadn't moved, they hadn't seen anybody come or going, and they were concerned.
Okay, so the caller was concerned about the welfare of the person in that vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. I don't know that there's been established or any testimony that there was anybody in the vehicle. I believe his testimony was there was a vehicle parked in the area running for several hours, and he was being called to check on that vehicle.
All right,
And
I'm
I also
sorry.
object
Could
to her
you,
leading.
yes, just one moment. The objection to leading will be sustained. And if you could ask your next question, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer, when you are in the field and making contact with people, do you have a body cam that you wear and are able to download to a video for the different interactions you have with the community?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Officer, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize this?
Yes, ma'am.
What is this?
It's a CD with the video of my body camera.
Okay. And prior to your testimony, have you had a chance to watch the body cam video of October 5th, 2020 with Mr. Tapia?
Yes, ma'am.
And of the video that you watched, does it fairly and accurately depict the events that happened that day when you made contact with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Would it help this court in understanding the events and why you came into contact with him in the first place?
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been altered in any way?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to offer State's Exhibit 2, a disc that has the file of the body cam footage of Officer Ficciati. and publish it.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibit number 2 is admitted for the purposes of this hearing. State, is it going to be broadcast on this screen?
Your Honor, when I tested this right before the motion, it did go on that screen. I'm not currently seeing it there right now. If you can give me one moment while I troubleshoot, please.
No problem.
Thank you.
Just one moment. We're going to go off the record here for a moment.
Drag it to the right, Meredith. If you drag it from the left screen to the right screen, that's when it'll appear.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Takes a village.
It does. Defense, are you able to see?
It's playing on my screen, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Now, officer, I'm going to stop here at the marker 1450 in 7 seconds. What are you entering here on the computer?
I'm looking at where the call is. I believe that's the map that's on the screen there. To see, just make sure I'm going to the right location where
Okay.
the call came in at.
And that call again was for what?
Call for the vehicle being running the road for approximately 3 hours.
Yes, sir. Somebody in there? Somebody sitting in it? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out right now. Yep. Thanks, sir.
Now, officer, I'm going to stop again at 1451 in 5 seconds. That person that came up to you, was that the same person that called in the concern over the vehicle?
I do not know.
And where is this location?
This is Lord Road, off of east of WW White.
Is that within Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
Officer, I'm stopping it again at 14:51 and 56 seconds. Can you tell us if there's anything wrong with the way this vehicle is parked?
Yes, ma'am. It's facing the wrong direction, being parked on the north side of the street there. And it appears to be possibly more than 18 inches from the curb.
And I'm going to stop again at 14:52 and 20 seconds. Why did you put your hand out like that when you opened the door?
I could see the driver of the vehicle slumped over, leaning against the driver door. I didn't want him to fall out of the vehicle when I opened the door.
Were you concerned for his safety?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you walked up to the vehicle, could you see inside?
Yes, ma'am. I saw that again, that he was slumped over, kind of leaning against the side of the driver door there. I checked to make sure the vehicle was in park, make sure it wasn't going to take off on us when he did if he did wake up. And then I opened the door and caught him, prevented him from falling.
And why was it important to make sure that the car was in park?
Past experience, people under the influence that have passed out in similar situations to this will wake up and let the foot off the brake when the vehicle's still in drive.
Is that a potential danger to the community and to that individual?
Yes, ma'am.
Hit play again. Okay. I'm going to draw your attention. We're at 14:52, 24 seconds to the right hand of Mr. Tapia. What is in his right hand?
It was a glass pipe normally used for narcotics.
And through your training and experience, did you find that to be consistent with narcotics use?
Yes, ma'am.
And is possession of that alone a violation
Yes,
of
ma'am.
criminal law?
Yes, ma'am.
What violation is that?
Possession of drug paraphernalia.
Car for me. Stop it. Come on the car. Come back.
Right here, I'm stopping at 14:52 and 44 seconds. Why did you put him in handcuffs at this point?
At this point, he was under arrest for the possession of drug paraphernalia.
When you walked up to the car, did you know you were going to make an arrest?
No, ma'am.
In fact, have you had experiences in the past where you made contact with a caller that was concerned about the welfare and it did not end up in an arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give the court an example?
Again, somebody having a medical emergency of some kind. Again, one comes to mind, a diabetic emergency. I've had a few people under the influence are suffering from those symptoms. And they, of course, got medical treatment to them and no criminal action was taken.
Continue.
Show bud. You all right? You know where you're at? You over here on 5-8. Over here, right? 50? Good. Where you headed to? I'm going home. After I was supposed to do calling me to go see where it's at. I got lost. I parked right here. So you don't know nobody over here on the side of the road? Not exactly. How you just park down there? The HP's to the left. Yeah. I know I am. What are you smoking? I'm not smoking nothing. So. Hold the pipe in your hand for no reason? Yeah, I guess. Found it stuff in my car, I don't even know. I gotta get that clean. You have an ID on you? Yes, sir. Where's that? Where's that? Back pocket? Do you have anything not supposed to have on you? Anything illegal, any guns, knives, weapons, drugs? Sir? I shouldn't have nothing on me, sir. I was trying to get. Can I grab your ID? Trying to get on. ID. Yeah. You have an ID? I do. In your wallet? In the car? Okay. Inspect your pocket. Come face my car for me. There you go. You live down the street? Rather not touch it. Oh, it's right. Because they're probably wondering where I am. All right, you call me, I'll help you out and contact somebody. Whose car is this? My car. Under somebody else's name, car, could be in the title over there, buy it to my stepdad. Your stepdad, what's his name? Julio Trujillo. Julio? Yes. Who's my car name? Yeah, nothing's gonna put you heard me speaking, right? Julio doesn't live like that. No? Yeah, we sell cars and trucks and stuff. Usually. Yeah. What? What's underneath there? Off to the side. Watch facing all directions. Yeah. Alright, goes up. Watch you for almost 3 hours. You're the only one that comes in. People are going out. Oh, I said I'm gonna lock them so they don't check me down on you. But I'm just saying, like, somebody else could just knock. How they're worried. They don't know what's going on. Strange car being parked out here. 30 is gonna be one. Nobody bet on them, like, that's not weird. They don't know, right? I mean, yeah, gotta call the cops, and make sure everything's okay, you know? I work hard and I'm tired, and I can't still be call my. Yeah, I mean, I gotta make sure you are who you are, okay? Hold on.
Your Honor, this is not obviously the full video, but counsel and I have agreed to stop it at this point because it contains all the necessary information for what he's asserting in his motion to suppress.
That's correct, Judge.
But I do have a few more questions of this officer. Yes. Okay, officer, the court and yourself has seen this portion of your body cam video with the individual in this video that is Mr. Jeremy Michael Tapia. Do you recognize that same person in the courtroom today?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the same person that was in this video that you had contact with and placed under arrest on October 5th of 2020?
I believe so. He's got the mask on, but it looks like him. Yes, ma'am, it's him.
Could you please identify him by an article of clothing?
On the gray suit.
Your Honor, I'd like the record to reflect he has identified the defendant. Few other questions, officer. I believe we can see it from the video, but just to make sure, did Mr. Tapia have anyone in that car with him?
No, ma'am.
Was there anyone else around that could have assisted him if he needed help?
No, ma'am.
Did he present a possible danger to himself or others if you weren't able to help?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you elaborate on that?
Like I said, if he was under the influence, and did decide to take off and drive away from the location, I don't know what could happen with the DWI driver or somebody under the influence, could danger to themselves or anybody else that's driving or walking on the roadway.
Did Mr. Tapia seem to notice or be aware of how long he had been there?
No, ma'am, he seemed disoriented and was not aware of how long he'd been there.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would pass the witness.
All right, defense.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
Yes.
Officer Spiciotti,
Yes, sir.
did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. My name is Joseph Appelt, and I'm representing Mr. Tapia today. You and I have not met prior to today, have we?
No, sir.
And you were employed by the San Antonio Police Department on that date, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Or I should say the date that you arrested Mr. Tapia, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In viewing the video and in your prior testimony, you stated that you received a call for a vehicle, and I believe your report says a suspicious vehicle, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's not against the law for a vehicle to be parked. Is it not just parked on the street? I'm not talking about whether it's the right way or the wrong way. For a car to be parked on the street, if it's assumed to be parked the proper direction, that's not against the law, right?
If it's parked legally, then yes, it's fine to be on the street. Yes, sir.
And in this case, if it's parked facing the wrong direction, that's a parking ticket, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's not an arrestable offense, is it?
No, sir.
It's not hurting anybody, is it?
No, sir.
And in this specific situation, the vehicle is parked facing the improper direction, correct?
Yes, sir.
This is a residential area, correct?
Yes, sir.
And as we see in the video, the portion of the video that we've watched, maybe one car passed by during this entire time, correct?
No, there's more than one car.
Okay, but traffic is very light, correct?
Yes, sir. It's not a main street.
And you didn't get any calls that this was a traffic hazard, did you?
I do not recall the details of the call itself.
Okay, well, do you need to refresh your memory by looking at your report?
The 911 dispatch call is not in the report. It's going to be on a different report.
But if there is some other reason than what you put in your report, we wouldn't know then, would we?
And who called it in? I don't know what. Sorry.
Would
say
you-
it again?
Would you agree with me, sir, that you put the most important reason for your call and investigating this specific incident in your report?
Yes, sir.
And so that was a suspicious vehicle, correct?
That's the category of the call. Yes, sir.
And so when you got there, you see the vehicle and it was running, correct?
Yes, sir.
And if it was parked facing the proper direction, it's not against the law to be running and parked, is it?
Correct.
Even if it was for 3 hours, that's not against the law either, is it?
Not to my knowledge.
And then in the video, we see you at approximately at 14, which is, I'll call it 24-hour clock time, military time. When you first walked up to the vehicle, you testified that you made sure that the vehicle was in park, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you determined that by looking through the window, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you didn't see anything else that would cause you any alarm, did you?
Just his well-being.
But other than that, there's nothing that you observed by looking through the window that was any type of a criminal offense, correct?
No, sir.
And the vehicle was in fact in park, correct?
Yes, sir.
So at that point in time, you determined that that vehicle is not really a danger to anybody. It's just parked in the wrong direction, correct?
Yes, sir. If I go back to my other thing, I did incorrectly answer your question. If he is under the influence and he is operating the vehicle in the driver's seat with the vehicle on, it is a criminal offense as well.
That's a big if. You don't know that at this time, do you, sir?
No, sir. That
And so-
reasonable suspicion.
Your reasonable suspicion when you walk up to a vehicle and you see somebody that looks to be asleep in it is that you think they're intoxicated. That's your
Possibly.
reasonable suspicion, sir?
Possibly. Yes, sir.
So whenever you walk up to a vehicle that's parked and it's running and someone appears to be asleep, you think they're intoxicated.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Couldn't be possible that they're tired of just trying to get some Z's, would it?
Very, very possible.
Okay, that's just as possible as somebody being intoxicated. Would you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And it's not against the law to be parked in a vehicle with the engine running for 3 hours sleeping, is it?
Correct.
Because again, you didn't get any calls saying that this is a traffic hazard, somebody's almost hit the vehicle, et cetera, did you?
I don't recall.
But you didn't, that's not why you went to that location, is it?
Again, if I can see the 911 call what dispatcher gives us, I can tell you exactly why I went there. They coded as suspicious vehicle and they give me a description of what the caller is calling it in as. The only thing I recall without reading it is that it was parked for 3 hours and the vehicle was running.
So you'd agree with me that there's no evidence that this posed a traffic hazard at that time with respect to the reason you're going to investigate this, is there?
Yes.
And so at this point in time, would you agree with me that you're not seeing any arrestable offense in your possession, in your presence, correct?
At this moment.
Okay. And so based on a questioning from Ms. McIntyre and your testimony, you're now looking at the welfare of whoever the occupant is, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that falls under what you call the community caretaker function of the police department, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's your focus right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's not any offense in your presence. It's solely for the community caretaker function, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now you knocked on a window. You just sounds lightly. You can't hardly hear it. Would you agree with me on the video?
Yes, sir.
You knocked one time, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't try knocking louder or anything else, did you? You only tried the one time?
Correct.
Did Mr. Tapia respond in any way to that light knock on was it the window, the door, the roof? What did you knock on?
I don't recall. Normally it's the window.
And then you waited maybe 2 or 3 seconds and you opened the door, correct?
I knocked, then I looked to make sure, like I said, it was in park because I saw him slumped over against the door. And then I opened the door. Yes, sir.
Okay. And well, let me ask you, when you're standing there looking inside the window of the vehicle, could you tell if Mr. Tapia was breathing?
No, sir.
Did you even check for that before you opened the door?
I couldn't tell the way he was leaned over in the car and the tinted windows.
Okay, well, he wasn't bleeding anywhere, was he?
Again, I couldn't see from outside due to the windows. And
He didn't appear to be in any kind of distress. He just appeared to be asleep. Would you agree?
he did appear to be in distress. He was kind of slumped over against the door, not on a normal way I would sleep in a vehicle.
Would you agree that you're not Mr. Tapia?
Correct.
You agree that you don't know how Mr. Tapia sleeps?
Correct.
So you don't know if it's normal or not for him to sleep that way in a car?
Correct.
And when he woke up at that point in time, when you opened the door, he didn't appear to be in any kind of distress, did he?
No, apparently he was just waking up and was a little disoriented.
Kind of groggy, disoriented, like, oh, okay, well, what's going on?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
That's kind of common when someone gets awakened. We'll say, not by the body naturally waking up. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's nothing alarming about the way he woke up.
No, sir.
At that point in time, he wasn't posing any threat to anybody, was he?
No, sir.
And at that point in time, you determined that he was just waking up from a sleep, correct?
I would have investigated further. Again, that's why I continued asking questions.
And at that point in time, though, he was not a threat to himself either, was he?
No, because I had hold of his wrist and was assisting him out of the car.
And at that point in time, when you're opening the door, he's not presenting a danger to others either, is he?
No, sir.
And you had determined that the vehicle was in park, so there's no way that vehicle was going to drive anywhere, correct?
I mean, he's still a functioning human being. He could put in drive. Yes, sir. It was still running at that time.
But he was also asleep at that time, correct?
No, sir. He opened the door. He woke up immediately.
Prior to you opening the door, he was asleep, car was in
Asleep
park.
in park.
It wasn't going anywhere, was it? And then you testified that you saw a glass pipe in his hand,
Yes, sir.
and then you got him out of the vehicle and you handcuffed him immediately, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I believe that was at 14 52:35 or thereabouts in the video.
Sure. Yes, sir.
And you stated and testified that at that point in time, he was under arrest for possession of drug paraphernalia, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you continued to question him, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And you hadn't read him his Miranda warnings yet, had you?
Correct.
Nothing further, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
State.
A few more questions, Your Honor. Officer, would you have given Mr. Tapia a parking ticket had you not seen that pipe in his hand?
Most likely no.
From your viewpoint, outside the car with the door closed and the windows tinted, could you properly tell what his medical condition was?
No, ma'am.
In fact, it was somewhat hard to see everything inside the car.
Correct.
And when you did knock on that window, he didn't look up at you?
No, ma'am.
Where was his head positioned?
I leaned against the door.
When you opened the door, what did you see immediately?
The pipe in his hand.
Judge, it's been asked and answered on direct.
That'll be overruled.
Was there a significant amount of time between when you opened the door and when you saw the pipe in his hand?
No, ma'am.
And at that point, what happened next?
I observed the pipe. I asked him next to the vehicle and placed him under arrest.
For what offense that's also listed in this report?
Possession of drug paraphernalia.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right.
Actually, I do, if I apologize. I do have one or two questions, Judge.
No, you may proceed.
This is a residential area, per your prior testimony. There are people all around that could, if there is anything that needed help, they could have gone and assisted Mr. Tapia, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
All right, anything else from the state?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
This witness is excused.
Defense.
No witnesses, Your Honor. We're done.
All right, thank you. State, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor. The state rests.
All right, defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, rest.
All right, then the court will hear argument if both sides close. State, you close.
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense close.
Close.
All right, then the court will hear arguments. Defense, you'll go first because this is your motion.
Assume for microphone purposes, I can stay seated.
Yes.
I'm used to standing. I apologize, Judge.
No.
Yes, Your Honor. It's Mr. Tapia's position that, as testified by Officer Spiciotti, that this was primarily a community caretaker function stop and investigation. It's Mr. Tapia's position that the officer exceeded that authority, even though it may be broad, but he exceeded his authority under that exception or under that premise because he tapped on the window, then he almost immediately opens the door. There's nothing that he tries to rouse him in any other way, shape, form, or other. At that point in time, it's a parking violation. The officer testified the vehicle's in park. It's not actually impeding any traffic. Nobody called in. There's no evidence to show that it was causing a danger to anybody else. Mr. Tapia appeared to be asleep. That was the officer's testimony. He's not a danger to himself if he's asleep in his car. It's not against the law to be asleep in your car, no matter whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours, even if the car is running. The officer again testified that it was in park. It wasn't going to go anywhere unless he woke up, but he's asleep. He's not endangering anybody. By opening a door, that is the point that Mr. Tapia's position is that his right to be secure in his place and the vehicle is his place has been violated because it has been exceeded by the officer's opening of the door. And under the community caretaker function, there is a case, Your Honor, that we would ask you to consider. It's Corbin versus the state. If I may approach, I can give you a copy of it, Your
Yes.
Honor. And I don't know if the state has that one, but I can give her a copy of it as
Thank
well.
you. All right, and if you could cite it so it'll be in the record, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
It is, I have to get my arms long enough. 85 Southwest 3rd, 272, Texas Criminal Court of Appeals, 2002. On the second page, Judge, on the,
Sorry, just 1 second. And for the record, Brenna, that's Corbin, Corbin. Right. You can proceed.
well, the second page of what I've handed you, Judge, and it's actually technically listed as page 277 on the bottom, the first paragraph. The court goes into an analysis of the community caretaker function. There's a 4-pronged test. The first one is the nature and level of the distress exhibited by the individual. In this case, Mr. Tapia was not under any distress. He was asleep in his car. So I believe that Mr. Tapia is successful in that one. That one should fall in his column if you're going to take score or keep score. The second one is the location of the individual. He's in his car. Nobody's attacking him. He's not under threat from anybody. He's not threatening anybody. I believe that also falls into Mr. Tapia's column. The third one would be whether or not the individual was alone and or had access to assistance other than that offered by the officer. In this case, he was alone. It's possible that other citizens could have offered him help or assistance if he exhibited any. That, I believe, is a push, if you will, in the terms. I think it's 50-50. It's up to the discretion of the court how you want to score that one. I believe at best it's a push and it's an equal. It's neutral. He was alone, but there were other people around. It's a residential area. The fourth one is to what extent the individual, Mr. Tapia, if not assisted, presented a danger to himself or others. He's asleep in his car. He's not moving. It's in park. There is no danger to himself or others. Therefore, we believe that we would win 3-1 or 3-0-1 if the third prong is a tie. The other part of our motion to suppress, Your Honor, is once Mr. Tapia was taken out of the vehicle and placed in handcuffs, even by the officer's own testimony, he was under arrest there. There are no Miranda warnings, yet the officer begins to interrogate him. And one of the specific questions had to do with, what are you smoking? What have you been smoking? That needs to be suppressed. Any and all of Mr. Tapia's statements after he is placed in handcuffs need to be suppressed. And that is our position, Judge. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I also stay seated?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, the defense is correct that we are relying upon the community caretaking exception to the warrantless search and seizure. The factors that are quoted in Corbin v. State actually come from Wright v. State, and just for purposes of the record, that is 7 Southwest 3D 148. It's a decision from 1998. And with regard to those 4 factors, the state has a different perspective based on the evidence presented as to what side that comes down on. First, the nature and level of the distress exhibited by the individual. The officer testified that he saw somebody slumped over with their head against the door. There was also testimony from both the officer and the report that concerned callers. You could hear it in the very beginning of the video when someone flagged him down. That car has been there for over 3 hours. The answer to that is we don't know. We can't see everything. We're concerned because the window is tinted. We don't know the exact medical condition of the person inside the car. Second, the location of the individual. Your Honor, you heard testimony that this vehicle was parked the wrong way on the street, away from the curb, and that could present a danger because of his past experience with drivers that sometimes are under the influence, sometimes having a medical emergency. Third, whether or not the individual was alone or had access to assistance independent of that offered by the officer. Your Honor, he was alone in his car. There was no one there to help him to properly exit the vehicle, to not be in control of the vehicle. If he was having a medical emergency, that's exactly why people called the officer, because they saw that car there. It didn't move. It was running for over 3 hours and someone was slumped over at the wheel. Fourth factor, to what extent the individual, if not assisted, presented a danger to himself or others. Your Honor, you heard testimony from this officer that he has experiences in the past with people either under the influence or having a medical emergency. And the fact that he was behind a running car that could be put into drive and driven on our roadways shows that he could present a danger to himself or others. The state would argue that all of those factors go in our direction, that this officer was exercising his role as a peace officer to check on the well-being of this person. Now, when he does open the door and he puts his hand out, and you can see on the video, to catch him before he falls out of the car. So the state doesn't agree with the position that he was just taking a nap in his car, but you can see, you saw the video yourself. When he puts his hand out to catch him, immediately in the right hand of Mr. Tapia, you can see a pipe, drug paraphernalia. So it's not as if this officer is going on a fishing expedition. It's not as if we're trying to claim community caretaking while we're searching through the vehicle and he's already at this point safe and in his control. We're talking immediately. And then yes, at that point, he is under arrest for possession of drug paraphernalia. Obviously, it escalates beyond that point, but that's not the purposes of this motion. So in this case, Your Honor, we believe that he had a right to both detain and then arrest him, and we would ask that you deny his motion to suppress.
All right, defense, is your motion, so you'll have less argument.
The crux of the Fourth Amendment unreasonable, unlawful search is the officer opening the door, what got him to open the door, and the 2 seconds between a light tap on the window and opening the door. That's like, I'm going to knock and announce, and nobody can hear the knock, Judge. That's unreasonable in our position. And the state also relies a lot on coulda, woulda, shoulda, or maybe, or this might happen, speculation. What actually are the facts that you observed and that the officer observed, not could be, or maybe this, or maybe that. And if you listen to the video, Judge, at the very beginning, the citizen that is speaking with the officer, they don't know if anybody's in the car or not. So that part of the argument that state presents to you, we feel falls flat. And we, again, ask that you suppress everything from the moment the officer opens the door.
All right, then, if there is nothing else, court will come back with its ruling tomorrow. So if y'all can be here tomorrow at 9, and I'll let you know what my ruling is. State, is there any case law other than the ones that you've already placed on the record that you would like the court to view? Or is Wright the only case that I'm being given?
Your Honor, there is one additional case that is helpful. That would Your Honor like me to read it into the record or bring you a copy or both?
Well, has the defense had a chance to see this case?
I don't believe so because it's different from Corbin.
All right, then if you could give that to the defense.
Okay.
Yes, and then.
I am familiar with Wright. I just chose Corbin because it was more recent Court of Criminal Appeals, Judge.
No problem.
It's a different one. It's Byram versus State,
Okay.
but I can have it printed out.
All right, yes,
That'll
if you
help.
could print that out and give it to defense, and then defense, if there's another case that you want the court to review other than Corbin, I will. And defense, if you want to bring me more case law in the morning, that's different, you can. So is that something you would like a chance to look into, defense, or no?
Since Ms. McIntyre is citing Byron v. State, I need to look at that, Judge, and see what it holds. And if I have a response to that, then I will bring that tomorrow, Judge.
Okay, because I want both sides to have a chance
Okay.
to review each other's case law. So this is what we'll do then. Mr. Appelt, would you prefer then to be in the morning? I remember how I was as a defense attorney. Do you want to do it in the morning or do you want in the afternoon? If it's going to be the afternoon and it have to be 2,
Yeah.
or do you want it later in the morning?
Later in the morning, Judge,
All right, Norma,
because I know I have an MTR on the 175th at 9, I believe.
Norma,
Oh, she got kicked out. She's asking to be put in.
How long has she been in the waiting room?
Well, she wasn't in the waiting room that long because I'm just now seeing. Let me see. If she looks at the calendar, she'll be able to tell
Are we
me.
off the record, Judge?
Yes, we're off the
Okay.
record.
Because I see her and
No, we're off the
But
record.
I think our mics are still on, so I don't.
Yes. Norma, are we able to come back on Mr. Tapia tomorrow at 11?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, has anyone done the paperwork on Mr. Rodriguez? Are we ready on that yet or no?
It still shows that the plea paperwork is with the defendant.
All right, Carlos Martinez. Okay. Norma, can you find out where Carlos Martinez is, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And also we need Cornelius Cox.
Yes, ma'am. I texted him and he hasn't answered back, but I will call his office again.
All right, thank you. Yes. Okay, all right, thank you. My understanding, he will appear on Zoom and shortly. And then, so the only person we're missing is Carlos Martinez.
Okay, Judge.
And then where is Gallic? He's not on the screen.
You left again. Give me 1 second, Judge.
I'm here. It just said the host stopped sharing my video.
No, I did not stop sharing your video. You stopped it on your own.
Okay.
Don't touch anything else, Mrs. Gallic. And Rebecca, I have your email. I'm going over it now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Judge, can you meet us in breakout room number 5, please?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez? Hi, there's a couple more docs that you're missing that you need to sign that are in your email.
From my end?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to go in a breakout room really quick with me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send you the invite. Okay, thank you, Judge.
Norma, I need you in breakout room number 5.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Cox. On Walter Gallick, did you confer with the state? You're on mute.
I did, Judge. And I don't know, could I have a few minutes in the breakout room with my client, Judge? Is
Yes.
that possible?
Yes,
All right.
Mr. Gallick, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Yes.
Rebecca, I just sent you an email with the document signed. Do you know whether or not, or can you check to see if they're going to accept maybe that person in mental health court, felony mental health court?
On which person? Or which case number?
You would ask me that information. Let me see if I can find it. Because I just completed it.
Was that the one with David Martin? Was it a MVR, MTR, or was it
No, it
something
was, they
else?
want him to go to SASH.
Oh, okay. I think I know which one you're talking about.
So that one, if we can see if mental health court will accept him. Because they were not very clear on what the issues are for me.
But there's not a felony mental health court yet. It's not in full production.
All right, I'm gonna have to figure something out then. But I set it for a compliance hearing so I can talk to him and see if Wardell Hollis can be a part of that conversation, because I'm trying to bring people together to figure out how can we solve this issue.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Who's the prosecutor on Rodriguez?
You're right, Judge.
Garcia.
Court is calling 2020 CR 10536, State of Texas versus Corey Nathaniel Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Carlos Martinez, Your Honor, for the defendant.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, could you unmute? Are you Corey Rodriguez, please?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections, state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections, defense?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? And did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I picked the wrong person to be on the screen. Thank you, Hunter, for just standing there. You're like, it's okay. I'll do what needs to be done. All right, state, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Proceeding on count 1, waiving count 2.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? The court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
I understand.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, he has.
You believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does, Your Honor.
You believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he was and he is, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count one. There's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 662209. State will take in consideration night mag number 588563. County Court Cause number 648960. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, no contact with Mia, MIA Rodriguez, and Moses, MOSES Rodriguez. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
I understand.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
I understand.
Do you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
I understand. Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, prosecution is proceeding on count one. There's a $1,500 fine. I'm sorry. Brenda, it is hot back here again. Everyone, just give me a moment. Let me get some water very quickly. Just a second. I should have remained in the courtroom where it's nice and cool. All right, we're back on the record. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count one in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea? Oh, you're muted, Joe Ray.
I'm sorry. State offer, state exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
And defense has no objections, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? Right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I'm hoping that the court would consider following the plea that we have. My client is fairly young, but I think he's learning his lesson. He understands what deferred adjudication means, that he's got 20 years over his head, and he just wants an opportunity to put all this behind him and move forward, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Rodriguez, what's going on? Like, why are we here with this that appears to be you behaving as though you don't have any intelligence? What's going on?
Just a lot of bad stuff was just going on. Just being in bad situations. A lot of grandparents getting sick, and it's just all
But
getting.
that doesn't have anything to do with an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. A lot of us have had relatives who've been sick, but we are not in a courtroom charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. How old are you?
I'm 27.
And how many children do you have with the complainant?
4,
What are their ages?
5, gonna be 6, going all the way down to 1. So 5, 3, 2, and 1.
All right. And Moses Rodriguez, who is Moses Rodriguez to you?
Moses is my oldest stepson.
Okay. So here's the thing. Relationships end. Obviously, I guess this relationship is over, correct?
Correct.
I don't know. I don't understand the long pause. She doesn't want you anymore. She's moved on. That's what I read in the police report. You understand?
I understand that.
So if you were to get involved in another relationship, she wouldn't have any right to relationship with her is over. She doesn't want you anymore. I need you to understand that. And she can date whomever she wants to date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you just saying that because you think that's what I want to hear? Or do you really understand that she and other people?
As soon as I get, yes, ma'am. As soon as I get myself together, I will.
All right. So you don't want her breaking that up, to interfere in that. People are allowed to move on with their lives and start a new relationship. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, and what's with the tattoo on your face?
It's for my grandmother.
What does it say?
It's a cross
And you need that cross to remember her by?
because she's the only one that was religious to everybody else other than me. So it's something that I face rather than anything else.
Okay.
I have to see.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated and I got some college done.
But what are you doing with your life other than picking up an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon?
Before all this, I was trying to start my own business.
Doing what?
Being a neighborhood hero, going around and helping people with anything that they needed help with, other than it being more like a helping hand.
How much is that paying? Are you doing this for free?
I was doing it more. It was going to be about $9 just for every favor that they needed done. The cheapest that I could do.
Are there any drug issues in your past?
No, ma'am, not since high school.
And what were you doing in high school?
Just smoking with them.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. $1,500 fine, that will be probated. Concurrent with County Court Cause number 662209, take 588563. County Court Cause number 648960. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, affirmative finding of deadly weapon, no contact with Mia Rodriguez, Moses Rodriguez, the BIPP course, 5 years. Are you able to Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
There'll be regular Zoom reporting within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or anything involving minors. Random UAs. Random field visit. 2 times per month. Service restitution. Or he can pay $7.25 per hour to the San Antonio Food Bank. And we'll do a gang evaluation. Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Rodriguez, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful in this probation? Mr. Rodriguez, anything else you need?
I said no, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal.
Ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record, Mr. Rodriguez, from here on out. Everything you do, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? You understand?
I do understand.
All right, and I'm going to tell you something else that I tell everybody else. And this goes for people who have charges, who don't have charges. If you want to know if you're ready to be in a relationship, and when I say a relationship, I mean a healthy relationship, because in order to get an orchid to live and to bloom on a regular basis, you got to be gentle with it. You got to be caring about it. You got to follow all of the instructions. You understand? Third party, if you want to do visitation or anything like that, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, good luck to you. I'm going to send you to breakout room number probation. You can go to 3. Mr. Martinez, you can go to 3. And then if you want to be excused, you can.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Hunter, are they finished with the floors?
For today, Judge.
Oh,
Could you hear the hammering and sawing?
Yes, I could hear the hammering. Carlos, I sent you an invite to number 3. You're muted. Oh, there he is. So has the hammering, I guess they're back for another day?
I think they're done with the hammering, Judge. It's got to be some touch-ups tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna put you something in the chat.
Judge,
Yes.
if if we have a deal with Mr. Cox and his client, but we haven't started the paperwork, would you want to do it today or do you want to bring it back in the morning?
Well, we're here till 5. Are you guys okay to do it today or no?
Court's preference.
Oh, I'm here till 5.
Okay, all right.
Cornelius, you're muted.
What time is it now? All right. I mean, we can try to rush and squeeze it in and
Oh, no, I mean, it won't take that long. We'll be here.
all right, we can try. All right. Okay.
All right. Oh, and here's the other question on Sanchez. Did you receive all your discovery? Or
No,
do
that
we?
was, what was it? That's been a long time since we talked this morning, but we it's been uploaded.
Yes.
We talked about it last time, and I need to look at it. I need to review it, but I haven't.
Okay. Norma, on Sanchez, can you give them another 30-day reset? And this will be the last reset for discovery. Because I see that on April 16th, it said all discovery uploaded.
Yes, well, there's one thing that's not, but I made a physical copy of that and it's been sitting down in court on our counsel table since this morning when I tried to catch opposing counsel in court, but he might have found the back door before I arrived.
That's true, Judge, because I was in a 437th on a in person, and it was there were some items that the state had
Okay, we'll just recall this in
ordered them
30.
to deliver them to me. So,
All right, what we're going to do is we're going to recall this in 30 days. Is your client is in jail. Norma, on Rogelio Sanchez, can you recall it in 30 days?
Yes, ma'am. I can do the 16th of July.
July 16th. Hey, that's CC's birthday, but that's fine.
Are you on July 9th?
That's fine.
Which one?
In the copies, will they be available? I can come by to, y'all open until 7 tonight?
Who's open till 7? 7.
The DA's window, I can come by and pick them up tomorrow.
All right, well, I tell you what, if you want to then, state if you want to just leave it downstairs because we lock the doors here.
That's where they are right now.
Okay. So are they downstairs in the back offices or are they out?
Counsel table.
All right, we'll have that available then.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So now we just have Gallic or Gaelic. Number, you want to go in the breakout for the docket?
Okay.
All right.
Tomorrow.
All right, so Norma, if you want to go back to 1, I'll meet you in 1.
Hey, Robert. Or Lupe, one clerk. I need two waiver numbers, please.
Okay, let me get a pen here. What's the case number?
First one, 377.
Okay.
Second one is Night Mag 6028.
378. Okay, stand by. Be right back.
And
So
just
you want
email
a
them to
plea
me,
to
will you?
two? It's gonna be a plea to two of them? Plea to four case?
I mean, he's only got 20. And that tapping was me, so that's not an estimated number. That's the actual number. So if you're batting 20%, I'd say that's still pretty good.
Will we do, he'll plea on possessions?
No, with intent.
Oh. You can get the same amount of time, can't you? On the,
It's not 3 per your request, and it's not 3G time past that.
Okay. Nisbet, I got it. You want it now or?
Yeah, hold on.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, give me the first one.
It's gonna be 2021 CR 5220W.
5220W. Okay. And that was 602377.
377, yes.
Okay, second one.
And the 378 is gonna be 2021 CR 5221W.
Okay. Cornelius, what is your email?
oh, JUSTICE, that's justice, the number 4, and then it's ALLINSA. Justice for all in SA at AOL.com.
AOL.com. Got it. All right.
Is it app or no app?
No app.
Okay.
Okay.
Hunter, I just sent you a text.
could gladly do tomorrow. We can do today.
I remember that, and I know what you're quoting from.
Tomorrow. What we can do today? No rest for the weary, Judge. So no rest for the weary.
There isn't. Hey, have you seen the series? You know, my mom started me to watching Vincenzo. Have you seen that series?
The what series again?
I'm going to put it in the chat box to you. Just one.
I haven't seen it.
All right, just give me a second.
Cornelius.
See. Yeah, look. Look.
Hold on.
Oh, and just to remind everyone, we're still on YouTube Live.
Joe, what's up? It's all right. Did
Cornelius, I sent you 2 of them so far. I'm working on the last 2. You want me to put you in a room with your client so you can start going over it? I can't hear you, but I'm gonna move you to 2.
I haven't started signing anything yet. But I guess you can put me in as I'm signing with him, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I just sent you.
Okay.
Crap. Crap, crap, crap. Hey, Lupe, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, can you give me I need a different waiver number.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
What's the nightmare?
NIMAG is 602381.
381. Okay, stand by.
Okay.
Marcus, I just sent you a chat.
No.
Thank you.
Norma, I sent you a chat.
Yes, ma'am, I got it.
Thank you.
Marcus. Marcus.
Yeah.
I got the waiver number. Ready?
Yes.
2021 CR 5222W.
5222W?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And it's gonna be 3 waivers, right? Totals.
One of them I don't need. It was the wrong case.
Which one is it? What NAGMAC?
It's the one that was the PG2. Give me 1 second.
Is it 602377?
The 52, yes, yeah, that one.
602377. That's canceled, right?
Yeah, cancel that one.
Okay, I'm gonna cancel it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I need you to cancel one. Hold on.
Amy Owen, to what do we owe this pleasure at the time of 4:51 p.m.?
Well,
And hello, you have someone on your shoulder.
Judge, well, I saw that you guys were still working diligently as always. And so I had filed a motion for continuance on a trial case that we announced ready for, I believe it was last week. And I reached out to Joe Ray.
Amy Owen, to what do we owe this pleasure
We're gonna
at the
have
time?
You're gonna be, okay, there we go. And he is not opposed to our continuance. Jenny is lead counsel, retained counsel on the case. She's gonna be at the TCDLA workshop or whatever it's called in South Padre for the CLE for the new appointed board members during that week. When the court gave us the trial date, I did see that Jenny was out, but I didn't realize it was gonna be like for the whole week. So I figured we could just work through it to be able to go on it. And so I filed the motion for continuance. Joe Ray is not opposed to the continuance. So I wanted to just see if that's something you would consider granting. It's not set until when, July
7th, I believe, Judge.
So, but she's going to South Padre.
Correct.
It really is for the TCDLA retreat, Judge, I promise.
So you promised it, so you're not gonna see any of the water.
I likely will be in the water learning all about my new responsibilities on the TCDLA board.
What is your, what case is this?
This is Derek Garcia, interference with child custody. He is on bond.
What's the cause number?
I have it right here. It is 2020 CR 3794.
All right, I hear the clerks opening up the files in the back. They've heard your cause number. They're gonna bring the file. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Joe Ray, are you there?
I'm here, Judge.
So I guess you were the person who was gonna be handling this trial?
Yes, I just stepped down, but I guess y'all are talking about Derek Garcia, right?
Yes, the defense is asking for a continuance.
Okay, we're not, I already emailed her, we're not opposed.
All right, Norma? Are you there? So on Derek Garcia, they're asking for a continuance because counsel is going to be at a CLE in South Padre. So it's set on July 7th, but she'll be in South Padre. So what date can we move this jury trial to?
Is there gonna be a lot of witnesses? I mean, are y'all gonna have lots of witnesses and stuff?
No, I think we could do this trial in a day or one day, maybe jury selection and the whole trial, 2 days total, maybe a day and a half.
If we move it up, if we move it up to June? Like,
That's fine with me.
would you be all right, Joe Ray?
Yes, that's fine.
I can do June. One second. The 21st of June?
Okay.
Is that good for the defense?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then your client will need to be in court on June 21st. June 21st is when we will do jury selection. And then the following business day, that's the day we will start with witness testimony. So the 21st is a Monday, so we'll start with testimony then on Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
All right, if there's nothing else, we will see you all then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Have a good time in South Padre.
Thanks, Judge, I
Thank
will.
you.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
All right, Norman, do you need the cause number for this?
Is it 3794?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I got it.
All right, thank you. Brenna, I just sent you a chat.
Okay, Judge, let me check.
Great, thank you. Marcus,
Yes, Judge.
yes, on the plea with Gallic, how many, how many cases is he pleading to?
4?
Okay. Yeah, we may not get this done today because Brenna needs to leave. And I think this will take us probably into the 6 o'clock or something. So I'm wondering if we can just get all the paperwork done, get him sworn in and take it up first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Everyone
Yeah,
okay?
he has all the paperwork, so just however long it takes him to finish.
Okay, let me go in the breakout room and see for a moment. Have Mr. Gallic come back tomorrow morning, and I'll just remain here to make sure all the paperwork is signed.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you. See y'all at 9. And I'm going to stop the live stream and everyone see you at 9. Everyone be careful out there. Fiesta is coming up.